is going to be the toughest fight of his career.
Sharp, relax.
The most embarrassing fight of his career.
Chair across your face.
Yeah, I think he's about to cry.
I'm definitely up for fighting. There's a lot of names in the division, for sure. But at the same time, look at what this creates as well. I'm a fighter, and I understand that economics of business as well. And this does...
Absolutely. Are we going to do this? For a record payday? To go in and spark Jake Paul before we start the serious stuff in 2026? Don't tell me what we should.
Anthony Joshua has issued a stark warning to Jake Paul, and it's more than just trash talk. While Paul sees this as a major payday, Joshua's team is highlighting how risky the matchup could be. Promoter Eddie Hearn warned Paul about the dangers, suggesting a single punch from AJ could have serious consequences, and former pro Moses Adama echoed the warning, stressing that facing Joshua in the ring could lead to significant injury.
Anthony Joshua should not get in the way of Fury and Joshua. Really, in my view, it's an absolute joke. It shouldn't be sanctioned. I really don't believe it should be sanctioned. I have a sneaking suspicion that it would be a very big fight. But the biggest thing is us rubbernecking to actually see if they do get to the point where they step in the ring together. Because Jake Paul's an area-level fighter, a British area-level fighter, and Anthony Joshua is still a killer and a live heavyweight. That should not be sanctioned anywhere in the world, in my view.
It's dangerous, mate.
Very dangerous.
It brings the sport into disrepute. The people that are talking about organising that, they should have a real hard look at themselves.
But even Eddie Hearn's kind of teasing he doesn't like it, but you can see the glimpse of dollars.
There's no price. There is no price.
There shouldn't be.
There's absolutely no price on the planet in order.
Stepping into the ring with Anthony Joshua isn't just a gamble for Jake Paul. It's a serious risk to his health. Boxing insiders like Ariel Helwani have warned that Joshua's power and experience could leave Paul vulnerable to severe damage, with brutal knockouts a real and concerning possibility.
Beaten 3 times. The 4 fighters that he beat didn't come to win. So he's not in his prime, is he? He's literally at the end of his career, pretty much finished. And this is why taking this fight with you is telling you all you need to know. It's a cash out. He might as well just cream as much money as he can at the end of his career, fighting an absolute joke shop in clown world. When I beat Anthony Joshua, he says, every doubt disappears. Come on. I mean, if this is a straight up AJ versus Jake Paul, then we all know what should happen. This is a 1-round job because AJ, even though he's past his best, even though he's seen better days, he throws a nice 1-2 down the middle. He's got a nice bit of distance, and fake Paul can't fight. He just can't. I don't care what anybody tells me. He can't fucking fight. He lost to Tommy Fury for crying out loud. He can't jump in with Anthony Joshua now and expect to get a result. So, like, nothing's going to no doubt's going to disappear.
Rising heavyweight Moses urged Jake Paul to prioritize his health over money, warning that a single misjudged punch could have lasting consequences, while former pro Amir Khan bluntly stated that Joshua could seriously injure him, even causing potential brain damage.
I don't. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying.
Come on, bro. You're fighting like one of the best heavyweight fighters in the world against a YouTuber. Like, come on. Like, respect the sport of boxing. And if AJ has to go in there and show these influencers that, listen, you can't fuck about with boxing. You know what I mean? Someone's going to get hurt badly, and this could be one of the first fights where a fighter gets hurt badly, because if you look at the size difference and the power difference, I mean, bro, there could be brain damages going on there. AJ could hurt him badly, you know.
Well, when you look at Francis Ngannou, who's one of the most fearsome combat styles there is. I know it's MMA, but we saw what AJ did to Ngannou. So,
and that's why you don't look. You can't be surprised if AJ is going to do the same to. What's it called again?
For Anthony Joshua, this fight isn't just about money. He's under intense pressure to secure a win and protect his legacy. Experts like Johnny Nelson warn that Joshua is in a no-win situation. If he struggles or drags the fight out with Jake Paul, it could make him seem more like a businessman chasing a payday than a true elite boxer.
I think AJ'd struggle to he's going to take enough flack over this, but again, it's money talk. So I think AJ will struggle because it's an all-in situation. If he goes in there, Jake Paul lasted the distance. What does he tell you about AJ? apart from he's just earned an extra 15 million quid. If he goes there and struggles with Jake Paul, then what do you say about AJ? Your heydays are well and truly over. If he goes in there and knocks him out, then I'll say that's to be expected. So the glory, there's probably not much glory in it, apart from the haters of Jake Paul to say, right, I've got rid of this kid. I think it's very brave of Jake Paul. So now the problem child has got to believe this fight's actually happening. So now you've got our attention. So now you've got to back up the boast. It's not about...
Johnny Nelson praises Jake Paul's business acumen, calling him a genius for building his brand, but he doesn't see him as a world-class fighter. Nelson says Paul is a solid domestic competitor whose paychecks rival those of world champions, yet he hasn't paid the traditional boxing dues. Unlike most pros, Paul didn't grow up in the gym or climb the ranks. He first built his fame online. While he successfully monetized boxing, Nelson remains unconvinced of Paul's legitimacy against elite, high-skill competition.
But can Jake Paul really beat Anthony Joshua?
All right, listen, I give all credit. Everyone knows that. They get mad at me that I give too much credit to Paul. Why? He's done a hell of a job to put himself in this position. He sold himself. He sold his dream. He took his dream. He took his idea. And he put it out there, and he made it happen. Give him credit for that. And he made it happen. And he took risk along the way. Yeah, he picked his spots. He's in the driver's seat. He gets to pick his spots. He's the one bringing the money. He's the one promoting. Yeah, he's the name. He made himself that, coming from where he came from, with all his followers and the whole thing, and just the uniqueness of what he was doing. But he has learned along the way. He's not a top guy yet. No, I don't know that he ever will be. He didn't have that amateur background and the things that you usually need to be a top guy. But he has improved. He is a work in progress. He is a guy that you got to give him credit that he's respected the sport. He went out there.
Former champion Carl Frock agrees, warning that a fight with Jake Paul could damage Anthony Joshua's reputation and derail his path to Hall of Fame-level greatness. At the same time, Joshua has emphasized that his long-term health matters most, stating that his legacy will be defined by walking out of the ring healthy.
But to what detriment to his legacy? A lot, really, because if this is going to be his last fight, fighting this clown show, I mean, it's not ideal, is it? It's no ideal way to go out, but people will argue, well, he's just taking the money and running. So you can't really argue with that. So that's it for another episode of Frost on Fighting. I had to get my opinion out there because I know you've all been waiting for it. It's a shame, really. I'd like to see Anthony Joshua, actually, even though I don't believe he can do it. But when Eddie Hearn tells us that AJ is going to become a 3-time world champ, it'd be nice to see the rebuilding process and get back behind him. 1 or 2 easy fights and then go for a world title. And this could be one of the 2 easy fights. But I just think if you're going to jump in with fake Paul at this level, which is like I say, arguably a massive mismatch, it's no way to step towards or climb a ladder to get towards that world title. So this, for me, tells me that Anthony Joshua knows he's finished at any sort of elite level or world level. He won't be trying to go down the world title level anymore. This is just a cash out. So good luck to him. Fair play to him, but hopefully when he's finished this fight, he'll be honest with us and say, listen, I've milked it, I've creamed it, I've had an unbelievable touch at the end of my career. I mean, he's already had an outrageous touch, hasn't he, with the involvement of Saudi Arabia, and now he's just creaming it at the end. He's got fake Paul, which is massive. Great for AJ.
Jake Paul, however, is confident he can defeat Anthony Joshua, citing perceived weaknesses in Joshua's recent performances. On his podcast, Paul criticized Joshua's chin, skill, and movement, pointing to his knockout loss to Daniel Dubois as evidence of declining durability. He believes his unorthodox style, confidence, and momentum give him a genuine chance in what many consider a high-risk fight.
Win this. I think he's calculated everything about Anthony Joshua's circumstances and he's gone, yeah, I actually think I can do this. I can leapfrog so many years of having to build and go through the ranks and do all that stuff by beating a shop-worn Anthony Joshua. And what are the factors in Jake Paul believing this? Well, it would be firstly that AJ received a loss in his most recent fight. Anthony Joshua's not been in the ring since September 2024, so over a year by the time him and Jake Paul get in the ring together. It will have been around 15 months. It was the manner of Joshua's loss where he looked terrible. He looked like a fighter that was well past his best. His timing wasn't there. He even looked a little bit chinny, dare I say. I mean, I still think he's got a good chin. The shot he took from Dubois was absolutely massive and would have knocked down many heavyweights. And he showed decent powers of recovery to get up and struggle through for as long as he did before his over-aggression and miscalculation with the type of shots he was using got him knocked out by Dubois. But if you're deluded enough like Jake Paul, then perhaps you look at that and go, he landed a massive right hand on Joshua's chin. Why can't I do the same? I believe myself to be a very big puncher. And it's that old saying, isn't it? You know, you shoot for the stars, you might at least land on the moon. And I think that's kind of why Jake Paul's maybe got to where he is in life, because he does have too much self-confidence. He does believe in himself. Well, on this occasion,
Jake Paul says this fight is his chance to silence critics who claim he only faces small or washed-up opponents. By taking on Anthony Joshua, a true heavyweight and former world champion, Paul believes he's proving he can compete at the highest level, and that a victory would erase all doubt about his legitimacy.
When I say it, I'm also... I try to be responsible. I've been in this game 50 years, so I know where not to step, where you could twist an ankle, or worse, you could break a leg or fall down. When I say that with the understanding, too, that Joshua's coming off being knocked out. Joshua hasn't fought for a year, right? But it's about a year. And there's some ghost in his attic. There are. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he's gotten rid of some of them, but I know that in the position of a fighter coming where he's coming from, there are ghosts in your attic. I don't know if those ghosts are still taking up space. I don't know if maybe there could be no better exorcism for those ghosts than fighting a Jake Paul. That might be just the exorcism you need to clear out the attic. I don't know. That's the problem. We don't know. That's the mystery part of this. That's what makes it so... It makes it two things at once.
Teddy Atlas offers a cautiously intrigued view of the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight. While he warns the matchup could be a step too far for Paul due to the huge gap in class and experience, he doesn't dismiss it entirely. Atlas points to Joshua's recent knockout loss and long layoff, suggesting vulnerabilities may exist, and says that despite Joshua being the more skilled and powerful fighter, he's curious to see which version of AJ will show up.
Fight a real boxer. They said fight someone your size. They said fight a world champion. We looked at a long list of supposed...
Atlas believes Jake Paul will never reach top-tier boxing status, though he respects Paul's hustle and business sense. He acknowledges that Paul has trained hard and hasn't disrespected the sport, calling him a work in progress. While Paul has carved out a niche as a savvy promoter, Atlas is clear that when it comes to elite-level competition, he doubts Paul can simply step in and beat anyone.
It's been out there for about a month or so, and it's picking up more steam. Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua. Now, Eddie Hearn came out this week most recently and said, I never thought I would say this, but right now the front runner for this fight is Jake Paul for Anthony Joshua's ring return. Joshua coming up almost on a year in September since his KO loss to Daniel Dubois. He's going to be 35 years of age. It's crazy what I'm about to ask you, but can Jake Paul really beat Anthony Joshua?
All right, listen, I give all credit. Everyone knows that. They get mad at me that I gave too much credit to Paul. Why? He's done a hell of a job to put himself in this position. He sold himself. He sold his dream. He took his dream. He took his idea. And he put it out there, and he made it happen. Give him credit for that. And he made it happen. And he took risk along the way. Yeah, he picked his spots. He's in the driver's seat. He gets to pick his spots. He's the one bringing the money. He's the one promoting. Yeah, he's the name. He made himself that, coming from where he came from, with all his followers and the whole thing, and just the uniqueness of what he was doing. But he has learned along the way. He's not a top guy yet. No, I don't know that he ever will be. He didn't have that amateur background and the things that you usually need to be a top guy. But he has improved. He has.
Boxing commentator Aid Oladipo has been blunt about a potential Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight, predicting Joshua could finish it quickly. Oladipo argued that Paul's bravado doesn't match the danger of facing a former heavyweight champion, and even suggested AJ could knock him out within the first 30 seconds. While he credits Paul for daring to call out a much bigger opponent, Oladipo clearly favors Joshua's experience and power to dominate. Meanwhile, Jake Paul has sparked attention by claiming their blockbuster fight could be worth around $267 million. Reports estimate both fighters might earn $92 million each, but Paul's figures suggest the total payout, including streaming, pay-per-view, and other deals, could make this one of the richest fights in boxing history.
Head AJ versus Jake Paul. Jab.
AJ.
Defense.
AJ.
Chin.
AJ.
Footwork.
AJ.
Boxing IQ.
AJ.
Personality.
If Jake Paul suffers a heavy loss to Anthony Joshua, it could seriously damage his drawing power. Currently one of the few crossover fighters who can guarantee huge pay-per-view numbers thanks to his social media reach, a high-profile defeat to a legitimate heavyweight would give critics ammunition to call him undurable, non-elite, and incapable of competing with top-tier pros. Even his celebrity appeal could fade, with casual fans losing interest if they see him as just a YouTuber playing boxer. Promoter Eddie Hearn has warned that a bad outcome could end Paul's boxing brand. Overall, the proposed showdown is far more than a spectacle. It's a high-stakes gamble. Paul sees it as his chance to prove himself in real boxing, but many view it as playing with fire against a heavyweight of Joshua's caliber, with serious health risks given the gap in experience, power, and size. For Joshua, the fight is largely financial, potentially his biggest payday, but any misstep could tarnish his reputation. While the bout promises massive attention and huge profits, many in the boxing world see it as a dangerous clash driven more by money than sporting merit.
Really box. He can have a little fight, he can have a swing. He swings away, stands up straight and he throws punches, but it's not professional boxing. Because when I watch him box, it's just so much wrong. It's just everything's wrong. It's so bad. He's got leaky defence. He telegraphs his punches. Like you put him in with someone his own size, it was a professional, and it's a mismatch. And you'll see that if he ends up fighting somebody. Tommy Fury, bless him, he's a pro boxer, but he's inexperienced. He's got no amateur pedigree. He's a raw novice, or maybe just above the raw novice. I was saying earlier, where would I put him in terms of levels? He'd do well to win a British title.
Is Jake Paul really playing with fire by stepping into the ring with Anthony Joshua?